I thought that this might be a good day to film a day in the life. I have a lot of things that I have to get through today, and so I figured why not have a friend come along with me. So I've already been up now for about 4 hours. It's about 9 o'clock here. And I have a bunch of stuff going in the kitchen. So I am going to give you a quick rundown of everything that I have cooking so far. Okay, over on the stovetop, we have got 2 pots going right now. There is oatmeal, old-fashioned oats, and raisins, slow cooking right now. And then over in this pot, I've got 5 cups of rice going. I'm gonna be making this into cilantro lime rice for lunch. Then, let's see, over here, I have the Instant Pot going right now with the black beans for lunch. I've made enough, let's see, it's 8 cups of dry black beans, 5 cups of rice, and this is gonna be enough probably for, I'm not gonna say 2 lunches, but maybe 1.5. So that's what I have going right now. I'm getting ready to get the grain mill out and make up 2 loaves of bread and some whole wheat rolls. And then a little bit later in the day, I'm gonna be making some rolls also from all-purpose flour. Can you say hi?
Hi.
To go with dinner. So I will shoot some of that. Okay, I just made a really lovely mess with all of the flour. I had flour left over in the little bucket and didn't realize it. So we got a little overfull there, and I got some all over me and all over the counter, but that is okay. We're just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna go ahead and start making the bread now in my mixer. Okay, I have half of the flour in right now. I like to put all of the ingredients in except for the yeast and half the flour. Go ahead and mix it up. Then I add the yeast because I start with hot water. It's just the way that I do it. I've always done it this way. So now I'm gonna start adding in the rest of the flour. Okay, I have half of the flour in right now. I like to put all of the ingredients in except for the yeast and half the flour. Go ahead and mix it up. Then I add the yeast because I start with hot water. It's just the way that I do it. I've always done it this way. So now I'm gonna start adding in the rest of the flour. Use a pretty wet dough. It makes it less crumbly. So it still needs to be a little bit sticky, but not too sticky. Yes. It's one of those things you just learn after years and years of bread baking. And I am not an expert by any means. I've just been someone who has made hundreds of loaves of bread. So this is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the mixing bowl and transfer it into a stainless steel bowl and let that start rising. Now, in other areas of the kitchen, the oatmeal is now done. So I'm gonna turn that burner off. The rice has finished cooking. Now, this rice, because it's only 9 o'clock, This rice is going to sit here until closer to lunchtime. And then once we get to lunchtime, I'll be mixing in the lime juice and the cilantro. So right now that's just going to sit there. And I am going to go ahead and add all of the stuff that we add to oatmeal, which is butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, and love. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and serve up breakfast.
That's funny, Mom.
Is that funny, babe? Okay, now that breakfast is over, I have the children who are 11 and under in the living room, and we're going to be going over our memory work for the day, as well as 2 read-alouds. We participate in classical conversations. We're actually just doing it by ourselves at home this year, but normally we're with a group. So this usually takes us, it's less than an hour, but we'll be in here together doing this. And then we will separate out, and the kids will be doing their math and their composition and individual work. And they're not necessarily this excited about doing the memory work. They're more excited about being on camera. Yes, it is. Thank you. Okay, we have the school part, well, the together school part of our day done. And now the dough is ready to be put in pans. I have had these Norpro pans for probably close to 10 years. So I just spray those with nonstick. I weigh out my dough though. Those are 2-pound pans, so I actually weigh it out so that I can get uniform results every time. And then there's gonna be probably about 3 pounds of dough left over to make rolls with. So I'll be making the 2 loaves, and then a bunch of rolls, and we'll be using the rolls for breakfast tomorrow morning. I'll just reheat those and brush the tops with some honey butter, and it makes a great breakfast. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then I'll show you what the loaves look like once they're formed. Here is the bread and the rolls all rolled out. I ended up weighing the leftover dough that I used for the rolls, and it ended up being 4.5 pounds. That's actually more than I thought it was. So now we're just waiting on it to rise, and I'll put it in the oven once it's ready. I don't really know how long it generally takes. I just kind of keep an eyeball on it. But everything in the kitchen is pretty much cleaned up. I have the cutting board out because I'll be using that a little bit later to do cilantro. We have a couple of dishes in the sink that I just put there. But other than that, everything's pretty pulled together. Not bad considering how much food I've prepared so far this morning. So just to recap, we have the rice, the oatmeal, and all the breakfast dishes. I milled the grain and made a huge mess with the flour. Got it all over myself in the kitchen. The big mixer for the bread, and then the Instant Pot with the beans in it. So, oh, also I made an Asian noodle dish for my husband and I, which you see that orange pot back there, that's what that was for. So, I mean, we've made an enormous amount of food, and it is, let's see, it's 11:40. So, kitchen looks pretty good. Now it is time for individual homeschooling with Lewis. Okay, there, he's excited. So with Lewis, we do a phonics lesson. We read out of his reader, which is right down there. And we do a math lesson together so that he gets that one-on-one time that he needs while he's still a really early learner. So we're gonna do that now. Lunch is ready. So I have, beans here. Oh yeah, that's a good batch. So there's the black beans, the cilantro lime rice, and then corn tortillas, wheat tortillas, and cheese. So that'll be a really good lunch. Normally we don't eat lunch until a little bit later, but one of my sons has to leave for work. He's a lifeguard. So I had to get it ready a little bit earlier than normal.